exhaustion, depression, anxiety that is caused by workplace and American culture that is making you sick upon your request. So we've been researching on this topic, and we found that uh, environmental expectations and workplace pressure is one of the reasons that make a lot of people feel exhausted, burnout, depressed, anxious, and this actually causing a lot of more financial challenges for the governments, and the real system causes a lot of distress and makes the people to overwork, to feel exhausted, and as a result they are not able to pay attention to the other areas of their life, such as they are not able to rest, to have vacations, or to spend time with their families. And according to research, around 77% of all people in America, workers, are experiencing serious symptoms of workplace stress, such as headaches, fatigue, muscle tension that are caused by their job. And United States leads all of OECD nations in average annual work hours, healthcare spending, and antidepressants prescriptions rates simultaneously. And the American work mythology. If you have noticed some thoughts about your work, or what does it mean to be successful, to be productive, oftentimes we notice some thoughts that are imposed by environment or by other people, that people should overwork, that people should work a lot. And according to this is costing Americans their health. An American cultural narrative around work is unique in the developed world. The Protestant work ethic traced by sociologist Max Weber in 1905 to the Calvinist theological framework that equated institutions with moral worth and spiritual election has been secularized and amplified across 4 centuries into a cultural operating system. Work equals worth. So maybe you are also noticing some thoughts that if you are at times when you are not working as much, you feel as if you are worthless, that you are wasting your time. Or oftentimes people notice even when they are in vacations or resting, they feel guilty or shame, and they are worried that they will fall behind. And actually these philosophies and these opinions can be the roots of why you feel this way, because of automatic thoughts, belief, perceptions about the world, about yourself, about the workplace, or people's expectations. So all these can be contributing to your understanding of workplace stress, workplace ethics. And the first step towards change goes through becoming aware of these thoughts or beliefs that you have, and asking, is this helping me to become the version of me that I want to be? For instance, if you feel drained, exhausted, burned out, stressed, depressed, anxious, or tired by your work, what you would like to experience instead? Which version of you would like to see, or which parts of you, versions of you, that you would like to see more often in your work, in your studies, in your fields? And ask yourself, what are important things in your life apart from work? Maybe it can be social connections, like joy, some activities, hobbies, or relationships, or your work, and how much time are you spending in each of these fields, and are you satisfied with it? And oftentimes people realize that they are spending a lot of less time in other domains of their life apart from work. So what's the solution? One of the solutions is integrating things that you enjoy with your work. For instance, I'm enjoying my work when I'm working with people, with my patients, with clients. I'm feeling satisfied, and I'm having a lot of joy from my work. So it doesn't always make me feel drained. But however, working hours also. Right now, for instance, if I'm working 30 hours, what would happen if I increased it to 70 hours? Of course, things will change, the picture will change. And therefore, noticing some parts that are draining you, some factors, and asking yourself, is it possible to change? Is it possible slightly make things different? Is another strategy that can be applied. For instance, like what is it possible maybe to change your work, or to discuss about costs that you are receiving, about your salary. Are some ways of like asking yourself what can be changed in order to change the situation, is one of strategies that can be applied. According to productivity research in hustle gurus that was conducted by John Parwell at Stanford University, they found that the most rigorous studies of work hours and output using data from British munitions workers during World War I, they found that beyond approximately 49 hours of work per week begins to decline significantly, and in other researches, beyond 55 hours was found to significantly drain the quality of work and ability of people to stay focused, concentrated on their work. Therefore, noticing how many hours are you working, and is it possible to change it, and sometimes, not sometimes, like according to research, people are able to focus better during certain times. So for some people it's in the evenings, for some people it's in the mornings, and if possible adjusting those times when you require a lot of cognitive load input, and using those times to produce the most significant work can be one of the strategies. And also using the science of ultradian rhythms, like noticing when you can perform well, and according to research, people generally can perform at their best from starting from 1 hour to 90 minutes, and after that a period follows where they feel drained, they feel exhausted, it can be more difficult to regulate their emotions, and if they continue to force themselves to work more, this can cause more exhaustion, and this would significantly decrease their quality of work. That's why using this knowledge in order to structure your day, to manage your time, to might help to increase the quality of your work and make you less drained, less exhausted. And again finding activities, hobbies, strategies that make you feel relieved, rested, loved, respected, understood, and using them more often. Maybe sports helping you to feel better, maybe breathing exercises, maybe grounding, maybe drawing, listening to music, or praying, or using your spirituality, culture, or relationships, finding those areas that help you to recharge, to increase your energy, and using them more often, or placing them intentionally in your daily routine is another strategy that can decrease fatigue, exhaustion, and burnout. And what happens in your brain when you are constantly being under stress, under a lot of work? Primary stress hormone produced by HPA axis under sustained work pressure produces measurable structural changes in the brain, and this can make it more difficult for the people to recover when there is constant stress, constant levels of anxiety or pressure in your work. And for instance, prefrontal cortex was found to become thinner, reducing executive function and impulse control capacity for complex strategic thinking. Therefore, when we don't take care of our mental health, when we are not noticing that, when we feel exhausted, burnout, and when we are not using strategies for self-care in the long run, this brings us a little more costs. And stress is also related with heart disease, heart attacks, and each time when you are overworking or not taking care of yourself, actually this would create even more problems in the future. So working long hours, staying alert, pushing through fatigue, those are signs that your system has been doing its job under pressure. And instead of asking when you are experiencing this this burnout, exhaustion symptoms, instead of blaming yourself or trying to work harder, asking yourself, given that everything that your brain has been handling, how were you able to still manage to keep going, and what were some strategies when you didn't feel stressed or anxious during the work, when you were performing your job, and what contributed to that, what helped you to feel rested or to feel focused on your work even when stress was there. When was a moment recently where your mind felt just a little clearer, when you felt better, when you felt more relaxed? Maybe you had quiet mornings when maybe something was different in your time management, in the way you perceived the work. Maybe you were more physically active, or maybe you had a different diet, maybe you had a different sleeping pattern, a conversation that fell easily, or connections that made you feel understood and heard. Or you were doing different job that didn't make you feel drained as much. So noticing those moments can help you to find clues on what might work for you in the future when you will have stress, and to help you to better manage your time and to be less stressed. And your brain still knows how to recover. It hasn't lost its ability. And if, for instance, right now it's for you difficult to focus, if you feel drained, if you have less energy, this doesn't mean that this will stay forever. Because of neuroplasticity of our brains are able to adapt and develop and change, and everything can be changed, but it starts from the change that we are creating, from behaviors, changing your routines, noticing your thoughts that are draining you, and changing relationship with your stress, maybe changing your routines, your connections, your environment, adjusting environment. These are some points where we can create change. As a result of it, this might positively impact your mental well-being. Someone like Ariana Huffington, for instance, she collapsed from exhaustion, her body literally forced to stop. But what changed things wasn't that working harder, pushing more. It was her beginning to value recovery as part of success. And she didn't see it as something separate from it. So instead of trying to fix everything, she just started to experiment with different ideas, with different perspectives, slightly changing what you are already doing, and taking small steps in the direction of their health, their well-being. And healing doesn't come from doing everything differently. This is not a realistic goal, but it comes by doing a few things differently. For instance, if you look at your graphic time or routines, what are some things maybe that are draining you and that make you feel exhausted, and what small changes can you take starting from today, not from future, not from tomorrow. And you are someone who has been already operating under sustained pressure, and your brain has adapted the best way it knows. And sometimes these challenges that you might be experiencing, slowing down, difficulty to concentrate, feeling drained, are a sign that you need to rest, you need to change certain things. And this system is trying to protect you. There is nothing dangerous. It's just trying to tell you that you need certain changes, that you need certain things in order to heal. According to American Sleep Debt Crisis, they have declared insufficient sleep a public health epidemic in the United States, and approximately 35% of American adults report sleeping fewer than recommended, less than 7 hours per night, with rates significantly higher among high-income, high-education professional populations. So oftentimes we link sleeping less with success, with being successful, with earning more. However, in the long run, we are draining our health, and we are also decreasing our productivity. So the question is not how do I work more maybe, but the question is how am I working aligned with what I value, including the life I want to be living, relationships I value, the health I need to sustain, long-term performance, and the kind of professional I want to be. For most American high achievers, an honest values audit reveals a significant gap, and their stated values include family, health, meaningful relationships, genuine contribution, but oftentimes people find that they are spending most of time overworking because of financial constraints, because of perceptions, because of maybe the ways they relate to work or other realities. So when you are noticing you have the thought that you can't focus the way you used to, you shouldn't be doing, you should be doing better than you are doing right now, you can try to offer yourself a different perspective. What if nothing in you is broken, but something in you is protecting you? Because when the brain is under continuous pressure, it doesn't expand. It narrows, it conserves, it pulls you inward, not because you are weak, but because you have been strong for too long without recovery. And let me tell you something about people you already admire. For instance, Steve Jobs was once removed from his own company, publicly painful, and he described as devastating, but later he said it freed him to rediscover creativity again. Or Oprah Winfrey was told early in her career that she was unfit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, and if your mind is telling you that this is too late, that you cannot succeed, or the situation is too bad, the research and evidence tells the opposite, that there were a lot of people who had a lot of difficulties, stress, exhaustion, problems, but they were still able to change their situation. And oftentimes the problems became the changing point, the point that helped them to change. So despite everything that you are carrying and all the challenges you are having, what has allowed you to keep going? What has happened? Is it responsibility? Is it your care? Is it a quiet determination? Is it something in you that refuses to disappear? Because whatever it is, it's not small, and it's foundation of your resilience. Now imagine that just for a moment, not a perfect future, and a day where you wake up and things started to feel better, and you slightly started to recover, where your thoughts are still there, but not as loud, and they are not controlling you, where you move through your day without constantly exhausting yourself. What would be different? What you might have done differently that helped you to relate to your thoughts or to stress or problems differently? And here you can find a lot of resilience and resources. Your mind just already gives you answer, and you already have everything that you need. Your system already knows the direction of healing, and we are rediscovering something that already exists in you. So there have been moments, even small ones, where things felt a little easier, maybe recently, maybe a long time ago, just for a few seconds, maybe a few minutes. When was one of those moments, and what was different about it? And try to understand what caused the difference, and what was there about you that helped you to use these opportunities, to use these strategies or your qualities, whatever helped you to recover. So this is why like this, the change starts from noticing these small points of difference and gently creating more of them again and again, until your system begins to remember that this is the safety. This is what safety looks like. This is what clarity feels like. This is what being myself feels like. And you don't need to become a different person. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to catch up. You are not behind. You are in a moment of a calibration. And some of the most extraordinary lives, the ones we admire, were built not in moments of constant success or happiness, but at the moments of uncertainty, problems, chaoses, and dramas. If nothing else changes today, just notice one moment where you feel even slightly more like yourself, and don't rush past it. Stay there a little bit longer, because that moment is not a coincidence. It's a moment that tells you about your needs and what you can use to heal. I hope that this session was useful for you. If you find it useful, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. And if you know any people who are willing to learn more about psychology, you are welcome.